Imagine, it's the middle of the night in a quiet Massachusetts neighborhood, the kind of place where the loudest sound is usually a dog barking at a raccoon, when suddenly the stillness is shattered by the kind of blood-curdling scream that makes your stomach drop. That's exactly what happened this past weekend in Lynn, Massachusetts, where neighbors rushed to their windows, terrified, and within minutes, police discovered a gruesome scene that would shock the entire community. Inside an apartment on Newhall Street, officers found 38-year-old Michelle Knox dead, and right outside the building was her half-brother, 30-year-old Joshua Smith, allegedly making statements that sounded a lot like confessions. Neighbors described the screams as horrific, the kind that instantly told you something terrible was happening. And those cries for help led to a crime that has now become one of the most talked about cases in the state. So what went down here? According to prosecutors, Joshua has been charged with murder and kidnapping, and he's now being held without bail. And while the details of exactly how Michelle died haven't been released yet, what we do know is that this family dynamic was already complicated. Joshua had just pled guilty earlier this summer to assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, which means there was already a history of violence and probation hanging over his head. Add the stress of living together under one roof, Michelle, Joshua, and their father, and you've got a recipe for tension that might boil over into tragedy. Think about it. Family love is supposed to be unconditional, but family pressure can sometimes feel like a pressure cooker, and unfortunately, this one exploded in the worst possible way. And here's the haunting part. The kidnapping charge. That suggests this wasn't just a sudden blow-up. There may have been moments where Michelle was restrained, unable to escape, which paints a darker picture than a single argument gone wrong. Right now, authorities are keeping a lot of details under wraps, but that hasn't stopped neighbors, reporters, and the internet from speculating. Was it a fight over money, resentment, mental health issues, or something else entirely? The truth is, until court hearings reveal more, the motive is still a giant question mark. What makes this case trend nationwide is not just the horror of the crime itself, but the raw, human fear in that sound. The sisters' screams piercing the night, heard by an entire neighborhood. It turns a private family conflict into a very public nightmare. And it's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous people aren't strangers in dark alleys, but the ones we share a kitchen with. As this case unfolds, we'll learn more about Joshua, about Michelle, and about what pushed one sibling relationship past the point of no return. But for now, the mystery of that night in Lynn remains a story that has left an entire community sleepless, haunted, and asking how a family bond could ever end like this.